Back here at Meredith College on the Raleigh, North Carolina for the 2024 Sir Walter Myler right here on runnerspace.com. Just moments away from the start of the men's elite race. You see Craig Engels, one of the athletes to keep an eye out for, just finishing up his last stride. And the intro is just right around the corner. Again, very exciting race we just saw there, Kate, on the women's side. Of course, 3 women racing under Nikki Hiltz's all-time best here at the Sir Walter Myler. And just a tone setter for what hopefully we can see here in this men's race.
I mean, these guys have got to be on notice. That was stellar. And they understand now. They understand the assignment. Now can they answer the call? I mean, 2 women under 420. One right at 420 in the form of Heather McLean. As you said, all 3 under Nikki Hiltz's former record. The men have a lot to live up to, and let's see if they can do it.
Looking ahead now for the intros on the men's side. We're just moments away again from introductions. We'll have Ben Nagel as our pace setter. Who is prescribed as we look at our paces. All right, see here, just 1 kilometer, 57.2. This is Ben Nagel right here, representing Team Sova, lifetime best 3:43.71. He'll be racing 2.5 laps around the oval. Again, 57.2 for his 440 yards pace. Ran at the University of, Virginia Tech University.
Is under what he needs to run tonight. He's going to bring the field through 1,000 meters in 2:23. That's 57 seconds.
And Kate Mitchell did her job.
Time.
Yeah, and Kate Mitchell did her job on the women's side. Hopefully Ben can do his job on the men's side.
For sure. Again, no small task being a pace setter. I can attest to that as someone who did a lot of them myself. But when you get it right, it makes all the difference, and every athlete will know that. So love the fist pump there. You know, the pacers often don't get the flowers they deserve, but certainly looking to bring this field through to glory as we look at our first runner proper. Well, get this. This is Tim Houghton's 7th time at Sir Walter Myler, but he is competing for the very first time. He's been a staple here. He was at the pre-event press conference, and the winner of the Sir Walter qualifier a month ago. So he has earned his berth here courtesy of that, looking to go sub-4 for the first time here. What a way to do it. So all the kudos to Tim Houghton.
Tanner Meyer right here, the former Minnesota State standout Division II school, representing Minnesota Distance Elite, lifetime best 4:04.91. Another athlete looking to see if he can dip under the 4-minute barrier for the very first time. Ran a lifetime best and back in January at BU and finished 9th at the 1500 in the Sunset Tour.
Rocking the stash here, Rockstar impersonate. It is going to be our USA Australia sort of shared personality in the form of Mick Stanisek. And he was at almost every pop-up mile this year for Puma Elite. Many talents, a citizen of both U.S. and Australia, graduate of First Flight High School in Kill Devil's Hill, and a 3:54 miler.
Long distance specialist with a 5K PR of 13:09. You heard that correctly. A 10K PB.
We actually have a late addition here to the Sir Walter Myler. This is Athanas Kioko out of Kenya, representing On Athletics. The former Campbell Camel, lifetime best 3:58.72, and his 1500 PB is 3:36.58. Didn't necessarily have him on my start list initially, but you know, caught me by surprise, and here we are now. We've just starting to pull athletes here.
You gotta love that, and he is enjoying that crowd. Gotta appreciate when the athletes can pump up the crowd as much as they pump up the athletes. That's a great sort of shared symbiotic experience. All right, next athlete on the line, Mr. Sam Gilman, New Balance Boston athlete, comes in with a best of 3:35.40 for the 1500, 3:59. He is an Air Force athlete and looking to stamp his mark on this event.
He was the 2023 Pan American Games champion at 5,000 meters.
Semi-finalist in the 1500 at the Olympic trials.
He also sports a very stout 1500 PB of 3:34.
Another athlete that ran at the U.S. Olympic trials and also represented the U.S. at the World Cross Country Championship. This is Casey Nelbard of Under Armour, lifetime best 3:56.28. finalist in the 5,000 at the trials and won the 1,500 at the Flanders Cup in 3:35.68 for the 1,500. Again, ran for the U.S. at the World Cross Country Championships on the relay team and helped the U.S. to finish 8th overall.
Another Aussie towing the line here.
Let's hear it for Jack Anstey.
Jack Anstey takes to the track, an Under Armour elite athlete out of Illinois State. Oceanic record holder over 1,000 meters and has a mile PR of 3:51. Look out for this man in the speed suit. Gotta love that. Bright blue speed suit, hard to miss.
That's our fastest time out of all the athletes in this field. Waleed, Suliman, Brooks Beast, another athlete looking to make a name for himself, representing the United States. Lifetime best 3:53.70 went to Ole Miss. Ran in the gauntlet that is the SEC against Arkansas, Tennessee, Alabama, you name it. Probably one of the best conferences in the entire country.
Really quick intro there for Mr. Paul Ryan, the Adidas athlete of the U.S. 3:35.82, his best 1,500. His second Sir Walter Miler, 3:52 miler. The Washington State grad, glad to have him here, and he is enjoying that high five tunnel.
Also this summer, he ran a 3K PR of 7:32, which puts him among the top 10 Americans ever in that event.
Sean McGorty, third at the U.S. Championships last year in the 5,000 and 10,000. As I mentioned earlier, is probably super thrilled and excited for both of his teammates, Grant Fisher and then Mo Ahmed, after what they did in the 10,000 in Paris. So lots of motivation for this guy right here, especially after what he's been through the last year, just trying to bounce back into good form again.
Well, our next athlete is no stranger to this track or to this meet. Mr. Festus Lagat. Put some respect on this man's name, an Under Armour elite athlete as well. He was second here in 2022 behind, of course, U.S. Olympian and Sir Walter Miler record holder, Yared Nuguse, and multiple 144.800s to his name. So look out for him in the closing stages of this race. You don't want to leave this to be a kicker's mile, because you've got some speedy half milers in your midst.
Starting to become a fan favorite around the United States. This is Eric Holt, who recently just signed with Puma after being unsponsored for so long. So the 2022 NAC champion. He returns to Sir Walter Miler a year later. Ran a lifetime best 3:51.46, did that at the Penn Relays, and was a semifinalist in the 1,500 at the U.S. Olympic Trials.
Well, next up, he needs very little introduction, but we'll give it to him anyway. The defending champion at this meet, Mr. Amon Kemboy, another athlete out of Kenya. Look at that smile. He is happy to be back here. Last year, he won this race in 3:57.84. That was good enough for $1,700. He is looking to repeat that performance, improve the time, improve the prize purse as well, walk away with a little more. Native of Kenya, he's got a 1,500-meter PR of 3:34.12, and he is, again, looking to come back.
And as they say, your mom's favorite runner, this is Craig Engels, the 2024 U.S. Olympic Trials finalist in the 1,500. And what a bounce-back year it has been for him. He was very emotional after finishing 6th in that final at the Trials. And as I said, a fan favorite. You can see a lot of the flags with his face on there. Certainly enjoying his opportunity here to showcase his talent once again, as he's ready to rock and roll here in Raleigh, North Carolina.
You know, Keenan, I gotta love that late shirt takeoff and then throw to the crowd. Look at that. That's a flex, but if you know Craig, he's only flexing because he's cheesing. And that's what I love about this guy. Like, he's a crowd favorite, like you said. Everybody loves him. He loves the crowds. He's having a great time everywhere he goes. He was, had a great time at the trials. He's just so easy to cheer for. My gosh, this guy, between the hair and the smile, how can you not?
And as I said, he was very emotional, too, after the finishing in the final in the 1,500. I've never seen anything like that from him before. I was, as again, a very big personality in the sport. But when you saw the tears of how happy he was, how he did, and kind of just the bounce back he's had, it really shows you what this sport can do to you and how you're able to bounce back in it.
That is such a beautiful point. And as we get ready for the start here, I just got to say, again, that's what events like this are all about, making sure that athletes have the opportunity to continue loving the sport, regardless of how you place it at trials, how you place it at nationals. Here we are in one of the coolest venues, one of the greatest races on the domestic circuit. And we've got a race on our hands, Mr. Keenan.
Set the pace, followed by Suliman.
The men's mile gets going now. Ben Nagel to the front as our pace setter. Then Waleed Suliman, our defending champion among Kemboy, to your left in the yellow top. And then again, that fan favorite Craig Engels sitting right there in second position, right around 30 seconds to the first 220 yards.
Again, this has been no small task. Our leader, Nagel, has been asked to go out through the 1,000 meters at 2:23. That's 57.2 per lap. We saw lots of slower races than that over the last couple of days, but this is where things happen, and things are starting to string out now as they approach the first lap and the first split.
Perfect pacing, and they're right on his shoulder.
So just a little bit over 58 seconds for Nagel with
McGorty and Holt.
Suliman, Lagat. So it's 58.39 there. You see on the left-hand corner of your screen, 58.39 for Nagel on that first lap split. So a little bit slower. Not necessarily be panicking right now at this point, should we?
No, absolutely not. And, you know, sometimes that's just good feedback. You see that Nagel is doing a good job of looking over his shoulder. He knows the quality of the field behind him. But these guys are not bunched up. They're not running in lane 3. They are strung out. So this pace has continued to move. It might not be as hot as they asked for going out. That doesn't mean it can't be a great, you know, turnout. Sometimes you just need someone to help you turn your brain off. If you're at the the front of this race proper, you need a pace setter so that you don't have to think about what you're doing. They can do the work for you, and any one of these athletes can take things over that second 2 laps.
Halfway through now, 1:57.16, another 58-second split there for 440 yards for Nagel, as it continues to be Suliman, Lagat, then Engels in third, and then it is Kemboy, our defending champion, in fourth, and McGorty just right behind him in fifth position. So again, that meet record time, 3:53.34, hovering just right around it, but it's definitely going to take a negative split here on the last 2 laps, Kate.
And, you know, we talk about records. Those are important. We saw that on the women's side. I have a feeling this is going to turn more into just a pure race. So, you know, Nagel drops off. He did a great job, took them through a little slower than what they were looking for, but kept the pace moving. That matters so much. These athletes are now in the race proper. Now, they have just over 500 meters to go. This is where, as a mid-distance runner, I always made my move. You want to assert yourself with 500 to go. You don't want to leave it to 200 because we have so many great half-milers in this race. And as they hear the bell, it is still anyone's race.
2:56.22, 58.70 for Suliman, who on a daily basis gets to train with arguably the best 1,500-meter runner in the world in Josh Kerr, and along with Henry Wynn and a lot of those Brooks Beast athletes. But he is being challenged right now by Festus Scott and Sean McGorty here as we've hit the backstretch one last time.
You still see so many runners behind as you see Craig Engels in the middle of picture there in the purple. A little grimace from him. And right now, Lagat looks poised to strike. He is right up on the shoulder, but look to the outside, swinging wide. We have a big move, and we could see a repeat of our women's race with 1:20 to go.
Sam Gilman now moves into second position with 100 meters to go, but Suliman starts to pull away, and Festus Lagat tries to respond back here. Now passing by Gilman, but it's Waleed Suliman, a wire-to-wire run. He gets the job done and celebrates prematurely and still beats the meet record, 3:51.86. 55.65 on that last lap, and was already celebrating right before he crossed the line in 3:51.86. As I said, celebrating prematurely. What a run right there, and a massive negative split in the end.
Well, the face says it all. Look at Waleed Suliman. His eyes are wide. His smile is one of disbelief. High fives there all around, and now the realization sets in. What an absolutely stellar run to hold off the late charge. Did so much of this work. We saw this in the women's race too. You know, just so much work being done up front, and then to be rewarded with the win and to pull away. Look at him. Arms go up. You're right. Meters from the finish line, arms went up, and then they go up again. smacking his hand. He is thrilled about that, and why not? The charge was coming from behind, and as we mentioned, it was a stacked charge. Any one of those men could have won this. Festus Lagat made a great final push. So too Sam Gilman, but Waleed Suliman, NC State record. Not denied. Brooks beast, and as you mentioned, gets to train with Josh Kerr and several other of the top runners in the world, obviously serving him well, but comes away with a victory and a new record here in August in Raleigh.
And the best part, Kate, a nice $5,000 bonus as well for taking down the meet record and the state record.
Well, you know, we had wondered if we would see repeat performances. We wondered if we'd see repeat